recording. Keith, are you, I see you on the line. You on with us?
Yeah, I'm here, Jake. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Thanks for jumping on the call.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Mastery Session Call. Again, I'm Jake Iancarelli, Keller Williams Realty in Tampa Bay. I am the ALC Productivity Committee Chairperson. And as part of our ALC, we open our ALC meeting conference call line once a month to a guest speaker. And so today I'm pretty stoked to have on Keith Alba. So Keith, you and I, we met a few times. You're a Florida Educational Services instructor and are out of Colorado, am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, I live and operate and serve the Denver metro area. However, been passionate about teaching and instructing, and was fortunate enough to be connected with the FES team and am one of the authorized instructors for you guys down there. It's great.
Yeah, we loved having you at our market center. That's for sure. I think you came in with 24 topics, I believe.
Yep. I was at yours, but I think there was three other offices that I had talked to for on that trip, and actually making a return trip down to Florida next month. I'll be down kind of in the Boca area doing some classes for the group and gang over there.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Keith, you're out of the Denver metro area. A little bit about you. You've been in business for quite some time with Keller Williams since 2003, and I saw that you were top 10 best real estate agents by the Denver Business Journal 3 years in a row. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing. We have a good business, a great team. Been highly focused on consuming market share and just continuing to do so. So the Denver Business Journal has recognized me. I've been fortunate enough to have that. And yeah, I was raised in a real estate office, Jake. As soon as I could answer a phone and set showings, I was indentured servitude for my family. So
no doubt. Cool. Well, what we'll do here is, so we've got the conference call line open. Everyone is on mute right now, and then we'll have an opportunity for Keith to talk about his business, what he's doing to stay in production. I'll ask you a couple questions, and then we'll open it up to some questions from any of our people who are attending the call. And so, Keith, go ahead and take it away. Tell us about your business and kind of what you're doing to stay productivity.
Sure. So year to date in the Denver metro area, we just cleared the 100-unit mark. We're at $1.2 million in GCI received so far. By the end of the year, we should be right around the 140 mark for units and close to $1.5 million in GCI. I have a fairly large team. We got 10 agents, not counting the ownership group. That are operating with us, and what we've chosen to do is kind of have some divisions or some specialties within that. So I've got an investor specialist that is married with our property management company. I've got a new construction specialist that works closely with me and developing some relationships with the new construction builders, and then we've got buyer agents and seller agents. Highly focused over the last couple of years on, mining our database. We really think that that's a huge opportunity that a lot of agents are underserving. And so we've been working on, figuring a way to connect with that database on a more efficient and effective level. We obviously have some new construction business. And then, the Denver market, we're still low inventory in both listings and available rentals. And so what we're seeing is some great numbers in terms of returns for holds out here in the metro area. And so pushing out to a database and building that database of investors that are looking for a long-term play with real estate investing. So two different avenues that we're generating some income from.
That's awesome. And so you mentioned you've got these different kind of specialties. And so how do you, on your team, when you've got these agents that are specializing in one aspect or another, how does that all kind of circle back into your customer service model or what you're doing to connect all those dots?
Right. So, one of the big knocks on teams that's potentially out there that agents may be using against me would be, hey, you're going to go into this large cog of a real estate team and, just be another unit or another commission check. And so what we focused on comes from the KW class, actually, the customer experience. And so we got highly focused on, what is it going to feel like for our clients when they're working with us, on a purchase or a sale. And so we really wanted to get into that specialty and say, okay, you're going to be the expert in this area, know everything there is in and out, to be able to answer the questions and service the clients at the highest level. And so if a new construction lead comes in, then it goes to the new construction specialist. And conversely, that new construction specialist understands that if she's got a buyer that comes out of her database, or she happens to stumble across through some of her lead generation activities, and it's a resale sort of a thing, she's sending that to the team because she knows her specialty, and her operations are going to be right with that new construction side of the world. And so we feel that being able to specialize in the certain areas is just going to deliver a high experience for our clients, which then creates raving fans, and raving fans get you more business. So that's kind of the focus of where we've been and how we operate.
Oh, okay. I get that for sure. And then you'd mentioned really the mining of the database to make that as efficient as possible. What are you guys doing with your database to ensure that you're getting, the return out of it that you're looking for?
Sure. With Keller and the 33, or now it's evolving into that 36 touch, we fell into the trap, which I think, a lot of agents do, and that's leveraging the crutch of emails to be able to get those touches. But when I sat down and I examined my own behavior as a consumer, I wake up in the morning, I grab my cup of coffee, I grab my iPad, I open up my inbox while I'm drinking my coffee, and the first thing I start doing is just deleting the spam, the junk, the garbage that doesn't catch my interest, or I have no business or interest in reading, and I'm just deleting that. So when I apply that to the consumer side, and I'm saying, am I that email that is getting deleted by my target audience? I said, okay, I really believe that emails have become the white noise of our industry, and we need to start working away from just kind of leaning on that crutch. And so for us, what that meant is we were going to do a lot more client events, but do them on a smaller scale. So we've done multiple investor seminars for people that wanted to learn about maybe sticking their toe in the water or just start that process. And so giving them a high-level overview of what that looks like would be one. We've done things we partnered with the TSA here in Denver, where they had a mobile office that would come out to our office and, basically set up shop where people could come and get their pre-check application done and not have to go all the way to the airport in order to do that. So we pushed that out to our database. We had a dog event at a local park where we had dog safe wine and a jazz trio and, adult wine and all that kind of fun stuff. So more events, a smaller scale, trying to appease or attract, kind of different areas of our database. And so in and around that, there's obviously emails, but there's phone calls, and then there's follow-up and postings with social media, talking about how fun we have and all that. So just, again, different avenues to try and connect with that database versus solely sending them a bunch of emails and saying, okay, they've been touched 24 times via email, and so I'm good there. I just didn't feel like those were actual touches that were getting opened, and therefore we were losing mind share with our clients. And so I've revamped and kind of reorganized what those touches look like for us.
So what have you seen as far as the response from your database from kind of changing gears away from that white noise and getting more personal?
Yeah, over the last couple of years, we've seen our repeat and referral units double, essentially. So it's been a multi-year effort, again, just to re-engage, re-plug in, get back in front of these people. But, we've gone from about 20% of our business to now around 40% coming from repeat and referrals.
That's awesome. And are you guys doing any kind of paid lead generation sources in your business? Or if you are, kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, we are, we're obviously still doing the expireds and for sale by owners. One of my business partners and owners is a bold coach. And so, staying on top of that and in front of that, we still think that's a viable opportunity. Yet when we have, 10 agents and say 6 of them are, buyer or seller agents, generating some additional leads was something that was there. And so we have a Boomtown account, been operating with them for about a year now. Starting to see some conversion in there, but it's been a long process, to get through that stuff. It definitely takes a long time to get them into the system, start nurturing them, and then for them to turn out to be deals backside. So I think we've closed 2 units out of the numbers that we've gotten from Boomtown. So that's closed, and then we've got another 4 or 5 that are under an agency agreement with us. So those will come into closings in the near future, hopefully.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But that's really the extent of our paid stuff. We don't buy Zillow or Realtor.com or any of those sorts of things. Just generating our own through that Boomtown, and we have an ad spend with them on a monthly basis for pay-per-click and Facebook marketing.
Sure. Awesome. Well, anything else within your business that you really feel is like been a major driver for you as far as your production levels? I mean, I know you've been doing this for quite a while, and yet, what are you paying attention to right now in our markets that are that you're looking at getting ahead in front of?
Yeah, so I think for a long period of time, a lot of what we were getting was business from the new construction. We saw that as a major opportunity going back about 4 or 5 years and really started getting in front of that curve. And that was, just persistence and consistency, just going out, visiting the on-site salespeople, befriending them, being a resource to them, and, kind of just building that trust and that relationship. So that's what my new construction specialist was doing. And at the same time, I was working to develop relationships with the sales managers. And so we were kind of attacking it on a 2-pronged approach, developing those relationships. And then when they needed somebody for assistance or help, we swooped in and we're kind of in that waiting position. So that was a great piece for us. In the Denver area right now, in regards to the market, we're definitely seeing it soften a little bit, and probably a little bit more than what we've seen in years past. Yet at the same time, we're still in a strong seller's market. And I fully expect that to ramp back up come first of the year. But having said that, one of the things that we're in the process of developing right now and looking at is a renovation division. There's some opportunities out there for kind of the ugly ducklings of the MLS. Some of them which would work for flippers. They're becoming more prevalent where, previously if they got to the market, they were getting snatched up. So there's some opportunities for flippers, but at the same time, we're starting to partner with some top quality renovation loan specialists and looking at developing that kind of an avenue of getting some of those not so pretty houses, getting them into a renovation loan, and then having them, kind of finish them to their specs, their colors, their taste, all that sort of stuff. So excited to see what that's going to develop for us in 2019.
Sure. Yeah, we run into that in our market as well, where it definitely needs renovation, yet the spread is not quite there for a flipper. And so who's going to jump on that? And then it's that renovation loan, which that makes complete sense.
Right. Yeah, it's not quite as heavily trafficked as, say the beautiful house that's staged and recently remodeled. So the competition is less. And if the buyer is willing to deal with a little bit of the inconvenience of renovation, I think they can get a nice property, have some nice margins, and be able to fix it up and build some instant equity almost. So
Right. But, yeah, no doubt. Cool. Well, anything else you want to add? I'm going to open it up to a couple of questions to see if anyone has any questions for you. Anything else you want to add before we do that?
No, I think that covered it. A lot of our stuff has been, revamping our 36 touch program and then a high level of customer experience. And I would say the combination of those two have really kind of been a success in building that repeat and referral business. And so paying attention to your database is vital, and make sure that what you're putting out there is having the intended consequence. And that's, in my opinion, maintaining that mind share and adding value to the recipient. So,
yeah, no doubt. Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm going to open it up to unmute the line real quick to see if anyone's got any questions. I do have a couple, and yet I'll open it up to the board in case anybody else does. So if you do have a question, you're unmuted if you'd like to ask it.
Yes, this is Michael with Tampa Bay. I got a quick question for you, Keith. You said you do a lot of events for clients. Can you give me some examples of some of the events that you do?
Sure. So like I mentioned, it's been 3 times this year that we ran the hold seminar, essentially, for our database, and bringing people in that way. We partnered with an estate attorney and did a seminar with him in regards to the benefits of creating an estate, what it looks like, how to do it inexpensively, pieces along those lines. We've got our Thanksgiving pie giveaway coming up tomorrow. We did an organizational event, so kind of how to organize the house, get it prepared, and declutter for sale, so a mini staging piece. So a lot of events, seminars, education. I'm, like I mentioned, KWU approved. One of my business partners, as I mentioned, is a Bold coach, and the other one is a Max coach. And so we all have a dedication to teaching and training, and so we've done a lot more events, basically doing exactly that for our database. So that's been a couple of the examples that we've done so far this year.
And what's your invite to turnout numbers?
Well, the invite goes out to the whole database, of which I would say we've got probably 4,000 that are in there, that are active and opening our MIS or interacting with us on a regular basis. And classes, depending on the content and the time of week, we get between 20 and 30 people that'll show up to each individual event.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Cool. And then to follow up with Michael's question, and I did have a follow-up question. You say 20 to 30 show up. That's a fairly good return if you're thinking about carving out some folks out of your database, and then without having the entire 4,000 people at one event. I guess my follow-up would be to that is, what do you feel is the best times of day to get those people who are interested in whatever the topic is to get out to your events?
So for the educational side of the world, we've really kept it during the work week. So Monday through Friday, and when I say that, Tuesday through Thursday, really, because Mondays, people are getting up, going to work, staying late, or going to an educational event that evening is just not going to be too intriguing for them, we found. And then Friday, they're plugging into weekend mode and, again, going out and doing something on that. So we've really done it in the evening time, kept it around 6 o'clock is where we found we get the best response, and then have some finger food or something like that provided by, some event sponsors, so lenders. With the investment side of it, we've brought in some of the self-directed IRA companies to talk about how, you can hold real estate within an IRA. And they brought some stuff, and so just partnering with those people. But keeping it 6 to 7, 7:30 has been where we found we get the best response, and people able to get off of work and still travel to make it to the office in order to attend the event.
Got it. And then I did have a question in regard to your you mentioned having the investor specialist, someone who focuses just on investment and leveraging that side of the business. what would you say they do in order to really provide the value to your investors? We end up with a lot of investor clients ourselves just through the course of calling for sale by owners and in our marketplace. How are you guys adding value to your investor pool?
So right now we just on the front end of launching that renovation division. So when I'm talking the investor pool, right now the majority of the investors that we've been dealing with this year have all been hold strategists. And so part of my team, I've got a couple of gentlemen over in the Philippines with the virtual assistants, and I've got one of them set up on an automatic search for multifamily income properties. Every morning he'll get an email, just like a normal client would. If you had a buyer client, you set them up through an automated search in your MLS. He's getting emails based off of the income side of it. And we spent some time teaching him how to analyze and assess returns on those investment properties. If one of those properties hits a minimum of a 12% cash-on-cash return within that first year, that becomes our investor property deal of the day. And then we're sending that, I would say, we're sending out a scrubbed version of that MLS listing because we don't have, agency agreements with everybody that's in our database, but the understanding is if we bring them a deal, they'll use us to represent them on the purchase. So we scrub it down, send it out, and say, here's our deal of the day, and it's kind of a first-come, first-served basis. When somebody, expresses interest in that or, somebody's looking to add to their portfolio, that lead's going to go to my investor specialist. And he's skilled on doing the analysis on that as well, but he's also, because he's been doing it for so long and can get into it, he understands kind of the costs of being able to get the property rental ready. So does it need new carpet, anything that needs to get done in terms of some minor repairs in order to get it to a level that's attractive for a tenant to go into it, but, not necessarily the high-end finishes that maybe a homeowner is going to put into it. So he can provide estimates to the, potential landlords and say, okay, here's our purchase price, here's what we think needs to be done in terms of costs for renovations, and then, here's your potential returns. We look at it, and within the Denver Metro MLS, there's a section where they can disclose what they're currently gathering in rents. And then, again, one of my virtual assistants has been trained in doing a rent study, so digging in and figuring out what, similar properties in that area with similar bedrooms and baths are commanding for rent, and then doing a projected analysis. What we're seeing is a lot of these rental properties that are coming on the market have been long-term holds for the landlords before. They've been very content with maintaining the rent levels because they've got good tenants in there that have been timely in paying their rents, and so they didn't want to upset the apple cart, so to speak, and so they're really undercharging and not getting the maximum return. And so with the change of ownership, there's always that opportunity to push those rents up a little bit, and so that's why we're doing the projected rents for our people. But that all falls underneath the investor specialist and part of the services that we offer to the clients that work with us.
Yeah, no doubt. We run into that in our market as well, the undervalued rental market for sure.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I mean, as a business owner or the landlord, do you take what was good enough, or, you leave a little bit of money on the table? And, not every tenant is going to perform like this one has been. So do you want to roll the dice and gamble, or you just kind of take what you've been getting and be happy with the fact that it's not a headache. You don't have vacancy costs, and you're not, potentially having to evict somebody down the road because you've got somebody that's performing in there right now. So that decision that each landlord needs to make.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. Cool. Well, that concludes. Any other questions anyone has that they'd like to ask? Okay, perfect. Well, Keith, I so appreciate your time being on the call today. Again, I did record our call, so I'll be sending that back out to our database of agent referral partners around the country. And yet, tell us where to send referrals. Where can we send you referrals for the Denver area?
Absolutely. So my team is my home team, and my email address is Keith, Keith, myhometeamdenver.com. And then Bree is my administrative assistant, my right hand, and her direct phone number is 720-214-6927. And, depending on the referral, what area, expertise, all that kind of a stuff, she'd be able to determine which agent on the team is going to be best suited to serve that lead. So she'll be the best person to go that way.
Awesome. Well, Keith, hey, I so appreciate your time being on the call today. Super grateful for you. I trust you'll have a great Thanksgiving and a great finish to the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back in our market center at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time, Jake. It was fun. Had a good time, and I trust everybody got some value out of the time we spent together today. So,
yeah, no doubt. Cool. All right. Well, have a great one, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.